Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Kapil, welcoming you all at Sriram's IAS. As we have started our series of discussing current affairs, the news which are related to geography and say environment. Here we pick news, we explain it, and we explain it through the lens of geography. How geography can help you in understanding all those phenomena. And at the end also, we'll discuss a case study which you can readily pick it up and use it in your answers. So today I have come up with a topic called as cloudburst. It is always in news. Yes, particularly in the months of say pre-monsoon or say monsoon times. Cloudburst is a phenomena probably most of us do not understand it very scientifically. When we say there's a cloudburst, probably most of us or say laymen, common people, they understand something like there might be a hole being created in a cloud, or there might be a window which has just opened, or there's a cloud, there's just a crack has taken place there, and something like this has happened and cloud has given all the rainfall at once. Yes, that part is correct, but technically cloudburst is something else. How this happens, the mechanism of it, I'm going to explain that. Why I'm going to explain cloudburst? Because it has been in news, in Jammu and Kashmir, the place called Ramban in Pir Panjal Hills. This place has actually witnessed a cloudburst very recently. Now, what is a cloudburst first? A cloudburst is a sudden and extreme heavy rainfall event, typically over a small area. That means there's a small area, but the rainfall is too heavy, so the rainfall for that area becomes too high, too dangerous. Now, this is something very vague, probably say very subjective, how small area or how much rainfall. So for that, IMD has come out with a definition. It involves more than 100 millimeter, or you can say more than 10 centimeter of rain within an hour, over an area of about 20 to 30 square kilometer, which is obviously smaller. It is smaller. So this small area of 20 to 30 square kilometers, if it witnesses a rainfall more than 100 millimeter just within an hour, such type of phenomenon can be called as cloudburst, or it can be any place where this happens. This will be called as cloudburst. यानी थोड़े से एरिया में बहुत कम वक्त में बहुत ढेर सारी रेनफॉल हो जाए, दैट्स कॉल्ड एज क्लाउडबर्स्ट. इसका ये मतलब नहीं कि क्लाउड में कहीं दरार पड़ गई और क्लाउड ऐसे फट पड़ा, ऐसा नहीं है, क्योंकि हिंदी में तो क्या आता है कि बादल फट गया, तो उससे यही फीलिंग आती है कि कहीं में सच में बादल में कोई दरार पड़ी एंड द क्लाउड हैज एक्चुअली bursted such that. The events frequently occur in Himalayan region including Jammu and Kashmir, especially during the monsoon season. Yes, monsoon times में it becomes very much frequent, but yes, in pre-monsoon time also it can happen. Now, cloudburst can also cause flash flood. Flash flood का मतलब the flood is actually a disaster which will be taking place slowly and slowly. But what if the flood comes instantly? That can be counted as flash flood. And yes, obviously cloudbursts are associated with this. Landslides. Now landslides, they're a type of mass movement. That means they are actually impacted by the gravity. They are influenced by the gravity. But yes, heavy rainfall can actually aid there as well in landslides. इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि लैंडस्लाइड हो रहा है हैवी रेनफॉल की वजह से या फिर प्लेट टेक्टोनिक्स की या अर्थक्वेक की वजह से, नहीं, दे आर द सेकेंडरी रीजंस, बट द प्राइमरी रीजन विल ऑलवेज बी द इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ ग्रेविटी. लार्ज स्केल डिस्ट्रक्शन mountainous terrains में generally they happen in the mountainous area, but yes, let me tell you, they can happen anywhere. Yes, but most frequently in the mountainous region. कैसे होगा, that we have to understand. Now there's a mechanism of cloudburst. Let me show you this. Let me explain this here. This, if you understand this, probably you'll be able to understand everything. Suppose this is a mountain. Now in the last video I explained you that temperature is related to relative humidity. What is relative humidity? Relative humidity is the ability, or say the presence of water vapor in an air mass or in a air packet as compared to its capacity, यानी उसकी कैपेसिटी कितनी है मॉइस्चर को एब्जॉर्ब करने की और अभी कितना है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ आई से उसके पास एबिलिटी है एब्जॉर्ब करने की मॉइस्चर से 100 यूनिट्स और अभी कितना है उसके पास से 90 यूनिट्स ऑफ मॉइस्चर है, दैट मीन्स इट्स रिलेटिव ह्यूमिडिटी विल बी व्हाट 90%. यस, easy you understand this. Now let me tell you one thing, if temperature increases then your relative humidity decreases, or if your temperature decreases your relative humidity increases. What does this mean? इसका मतलब ये है if temperature cools down, if the temperature decreases, then ability to hold moisture of a cloud or of an air packet, it will actually decrease. Yes, that means relative humidity will increase then only. If air is very warm, don't you think warm air will expand, so it will be able to absorb more and more and more moisture. But what if the air cools down? इसका मतलब है that air is going to be contracting, और contracting air में there is no much space, so its capacity to absorb water will be reduced. That means relative humidity has decreased or not. Yes. Now just keep this small concept in mind. ऐसे concept को दिमाग में रखो. Then we'll understand this. Suppose this is a mountain area. Now from one side a wind is coming. Wind. In this wind, probably say from Arabian Sea or say from Bay of Bengal or say from any side, but the wind has moisture. Obviously it will have moisture. So it has water vapor with it. This is the water vapor, okay? Water vapor with it. Now it comes close to the mountain. Now there is a mountain, that means there is a barrier. Now don't you think this barrier will cause this wind to rise up? Yes, rise up. Very good. It rises up. When it rises up, what will happen? Don't you think whatever water vapor is here, as soon as the temperature decreases, don't you think the same water vapor will be converted into clouds? Yes, तभी तो बनता है ना कि water vapor evaporate हुआ, it goes up, वहां पे temperature goes down, ठंडा हो गया, that means condensation takes place. इसका मतलब है clouds are being formed. So don't you think यहाँ पे clouds वगैरह बनेंगे? Absolutely. Now tell me, this wind, if this wind is very strong, don't you think the cloud formation will be taking place and the big clouds will be formed? In the last video I talked about a cloud called as cumulonimbus cloud. So yes, cumulonimbus clouds are formed, and these cumulonimbus clouds are formed at a very great level. These cumulonimbus clouds are not very small, they are very big, probably say 10, 12, 14 kilometer say in height. So they are very large, very black, and they have lot of moisture. But the wind is so strong that it is not allowing the rainfall to come down, or it is not allowing the cloud to move anywhere. It is just filling it up. The cloud is saying that I am saturated. It is saying that my RH, relative humidity, is 100%. I cannot take up any moisture more. But the wind is so strong कि ये बोलता नहीं ऊपर जाओ और ज़्यादा water vapor. So it keeps adding. So this point in time when relative humidity is 100%, it is called as saturated air. Tell me, saturated air का मतलब है the amount of cloud it can, the amount of moisture it can absorb is completely filled. यानी 100% absorb कर सकता था और 100% है, but moisture add हुआ जा रहा है. Don't you think it has gone beyond saturated? It will become super saturated now. Super saturated. In fact, saturated के बाद if you add a bit of even a small amount of moisture, it will rain. But you are adding moisture again and again because of these strong winds, convective winds. Convective winds are very strong, they are adding moisture, but it is not allowing the rainfall to come down because these are very strong. अच्छा, एक बात. दूसरी बात, ऊपर जो wind है, this wind is actually very weak. These weak winds are also not able to move these clouds anywhere. So the clouds are like quasi-stationary. Clouds are there only because ऊपर जो wind है, this is not very strong. है ना, horizontal wind probably. It is not very strong. So clouds are there only. So clouds move भी नहीं कर रहे हैं और moisture add होता जा रहा है. So they become super saturated, and a time will come when they won't be able to hold any more moisture. और क्या होता है एक साथ, because they are super saturated, they are not able to take any more moisture. So what will happen is they will start raining down very quickly. They will rain down in a great amount. That's what, say in a small region, small area, and heavy rainfall say more than 100 millimeters. कब तक में? Within an hour. Within an hour they pour down lot of rain, and this phenomenon is called as cloud burst. It will always happen on the windward side. Yeah, this is the windward side and this is the leeward side. But as soon as the clouds reach here, so probably they will start going down, and as soon as they go down, temperature increases. As soon as temperature increases, they have more capacity to absorb water vapor. But here the temperature was decreasing, so the capacity to absorb heat was also coming. The capacity to absorb water vapor was also coming down. So yes, this is what happens on the windward side. This is called as cloud burst. Now let me explain this through this diagram. Yes, you see, if you see this, you will be able to understand this, how the wind is saved. It has a lot of moisture going towards the mountain or say hill slope. It rises up, creates clouds. After becoming saturated and say super saturated, they will create heavy rainfall, and then they go down, and then relative humidity decreases again, and then there's no rainfall. But on this side there will be heavy rainfall. This is called as cloud burst. This is what has happened in this part of the world as well, in this part of India as well. Now you see here, this is the Kashmir Valley, and the Kashmir Valley is located between these two. Say here it is your Pir Panjal, and here it is your Great Himalayas, and the beach mein yahan pe you have this Kashmir Valley, and your this part Ramban is actually located yahi paas mein, Pir Panjal ke paas mein, Pir Panjal ke paas, Cherab river ke paas mein, it is located there. And tell me, if from this side you have getting what? Subtropical westerly jet stream, yes, from Mediterranean Sea, that is the temperate cyclones, yes, which is also called as western disturbance. In Hindi it is also called as Paschimi Vikshobh. If it is coming and adding a lot of moisture, don't you think this moisture, these cloud system, they will also be trapped between these two mountain ranges, Pir Panjal and Great Himalayas. Great Himalayas ke beech mein they are just constricted, they are just confined. Now if they are confined, or yahan se bhi they are getting moisture, say from Bay of Bengal or say from Arabian Sea, don't you think it will become super saturated? Yes, in Kedarnath tragedy this happened, same thing. Because there, for example, if you see this is the Great Himalayas. Suppose this is the Great Himalayas, and then you have mid Himalayas like this. It is your Pir Panjal. Here it is your Dhauladhar. Here it is your Masuri Nag Tibba. These are all mid Himalayas. And tell me, this is your Kashmir Valley or not? This is Kashmir Valley. This is your Himachal, and this is your Uttarakhand. All these are between mid Himalayas and Great Himalayas. And if anything is there, any cloud which has been just quasi stationary there, it is very stationary there, not moving here and there, and if the moisture is being added to it again and again, don't you think it will create heavy rainfall there? And this is what happened to the cloud, or this is why the cloud burst happened in the Himachal. Yes, last year, abhi is saal monsoon aa raha hai, I wish ki nahi ho, but yes, this is geography, this is something. Every year this happens, that there are some cloud burst happening in Himachal or say Uttarakhand. Yes, and this is also being worsened by climate change and global warming. Let me tell you, I really don't want any cloud burst to happen, but ये हमारे और आपकी दुआओं पे नहीं है, because we have done so much of damage to our environment. इतनी global warming, climate change में add हमने किया है that it is almost like inevitable now. Every year it happens. You see this, कि why it was there. Now you see, clouds become quasi-stationary. This is what I said, they become very stationary there. Lack of wind movement traps clouds over the same location, leading to prolonged intense rainfall. That means clouds are not moving anywhere. Kyun? Because up in the atmosphere there is no very strong wind, so they are not able to move these clouds very frequently. Now rising temperatures also lead to increased evaporation. Increased evaporation का मतलब है that ability of air to hold moisture increases and increases and increases. And once this happens, it will lead to very heavy rainfall. Now, climate change is increasing, frequency, intensity, dono mein. And events like cloudburst will keep occurring. Why? Because climate change is something we cannot actually predict what is going to happen next, how it is going to happen. Cyclone is coming or not. Cyclone will come only 2 times or 3 times. It can come multiple times. It cannot come also. It can come in great intensity. It can come with very less severe intensity. We are actually not very sure. The predictability of our nature is getting reduced because of the climate change. Now, IPCC report is also an IMD observation suggests an upward trend in extreme rainfall events across South Asia. Of last few years, maybe we have seen that in India or say in South Asia in general, we have seen above average rainfall. The rainfall which we are witnessing will always be above average rainfall. Even El Nino and etc. These are the other factors which are not very much favorable to the rainfall of South Asia. But still, because of the climate change and global warming, they are becoming very unpredictable, and cloudbursts are one of the examples. In Ramban, what happened? It is Ramban district, Jammu and Kashmir, mein just near Jammu. I told you it's Pir Panjal. A cloudburst led to intense rain in very short period. Casualty: 3 people died and many displaced. In fact, the number has been increasing. Damage was done. Very great damage was done. In fact, advisory were also issued of do's and don'ts. So people from there, they might be knowing. Now, homes and shops, they got destroyed. Flash flood and landslide blocked National Highway 44, which is strategically very, very important, connecting Srinagar to Jammu to Srinagar. So this is actually very important, and it was blocked because of this. Transport got disrupted. Several families evacuated to safer zones. Yes, this is what we do in disaster management. Now, rescue operations were launched by district administration, and NDRF actually came into action, and they started doing it. So this Ramban, say this time it is Ramban, probably it was Jammu and Kashmir earlier. Sometimes it can be Kedarnath, sometimes it can be, Himachal. So these are the similar situation found in all these places, and that's why such cloudbursts keep taking place. Now, conclusion may, if you can understand that cloudbursts though natural, are becoming more frequent and dangerous due to climate change because it is becoming very unpredictable. The frequency has been increasing. Not only the frequency, but also the intensity has been increasing. Jammu and Kashmir, due to its topography and climate conditions, remains a vulnerable zone. Not only Jammu and Kashmir, all these Himalayan states, I would say. Himalayan states. Be it Jammu Kashmir, Himachal, Ladakh, or say Uttarakhand per se, or there Arunachal, Sikkim, and all these places. But there's an urgent need for what? You need certain solutions also. Now, while writing solution, yes, obviously, what if you have mentioned all the problems? What if you have mentioned all the challenges? Challenges, these are all the problems. But as an administrator, as an officer, you need to find solutions as well. You need to give solutions as well. You cannot just raise the question. You also need to give certain suggestions as well. Questions plus suggestion will make it very positive or say very constructive criticism of anything. So while criticizing something, we also need to take in mind, we also need to keep this in our mind, that we must also talk about its way forward. We must also give certain amount of solution which is say practical and feasible. Now, there must be early warning system, and yes, it has been in place. The last one I remember, it was actually put in Lansdowne, where early warning systems, say through IMD and other agencies, they have been putting them in place. That means before any disaster, I'm not talking about any cloudburst or landslide per se, but any disaster you can have certain early warning system. If it can tell you in early, if it can tell you in advance, don't you think you will be better prepared? Yes, if you know there's a wave coming, probably you will be better prepared. You will be holding things, right? So if you know what is coming, probably you'll be better prepared. But what if you are caught, say, in surprise? Probably then the harm will be greater. Watershed planning. Watershed planning ka matlab, the planning should be based on the river valleys, because every river valley has certain limitations, certain strength, and certain weaknesses also. So we cannot have just one plan running through the country or running through the state. Every different place, every different valley will need different type of approach. It cannot be, one size fit all. So there should be watershed planning. Slope stabilization. Now, in places of Himalayan states, the topography is very mountainous. It is full of hill slopes. So what if there's a cloud burst? The problem will not only be because of the flooding. Yes, problem will also occur because of this heavy rainfall. There will be landslides. And at this point in time, what we are doing? Deforestation, infrastructure. Now we need to balance all the economic activity, developmental activity with ecological balance also. So there need to be a balance. If you just go for the economic activity, compromising the ecological balance of the place, then it is bound to happen. So we need to stabilize the slope as well. कैसे कर सकते हैं? It can be, there can be lot of ways, structural and non-structural, engineering and non-engineering way. There can be lot of ways. Probably yes, watershed management will include or take care of this as well. And then community-based disaster preparedness. This is very important. The local communities which are there, they must be capable enough, they must be strong enough to take care of any situation, or at least the first impact they can actually take care of. They should not feel so much disabled that only NDRF or other help will come, only then we can be saved. No, they must be trained enough, they must be capable enough, so that at least the first aid, at least the first help should be coming from the community only. And yes, as soon as the NDRF and other teams they reach, that's a good addition. But the public, the local public should be aware of taking care of such things. So this is something, it has been given by the Sendai frameworks also. Sendai framework, disaster management ko leke hai. Sendai framework, it also suggests the same. And probably this is the key thing. This is the key thing. So it should be there. It is to be given a lot of importance. Now, there have been previous year questions. Let me tell you, kabhi it can be direct, and kabhi you need to chip in with all these ideas. Then your answer will become very good. Discuss the origin and development of thunderstorms with example from India. Now, you can actually include your cloudburst mechanism with it, because in thunderstorm there's strong convection happening. There also strong and very big black, these cumulonimbus clouds are created. So don't you think here and there you can actually chip in with these examples of cloudburst as well? Yes, it can come. Now, in 2022 they asked about discuss the changing nature of monsoon patterns in recent decades and their impact on Indian geography. And here you can actually link it to climate change and increase in cloudburst. How the monsoon times are witnessing more and more cloudbursts. So don't you think the changing pattern will also include the increasing number of cloudbursts? Yes, you can also write a case study here. So probably they're not the direct question, but if you have the knowledge of this, you can always come up with a case study. You can always come up with another dimension as well. In 2014, they asked, explain how global warming can lead to more intense and frequent hydrometeorological hazard in tropical countries. India is a tropical country, yes, and hydrometeorological, that means related to water and climate, water and atmosphere. So if it has to be taken in mind, don't you think this is the exact, or this is the most excellent example you can have, the cloudburst. See, we have done this, we have discussed this, that because of the climate change and global warming, how the number of cloudbursts are increasing. So don't you think you can actually link cloudburst with it? So very simple thing to do. It was very obvious thing to do. You should do this. Then in 2020, why is the Himalaya prone to disasters? Discuss with example. Now, Himalayas mein, there are multiple types of disaster. One of the disaster is, say, cloudburst. ये तो हमने discuss किया. So don't you think you can include it here? You can include landslide, earthquake, floodings, yes, forest fires. All these can be included in your Himalayan states. But yes, one of them will be cloudburst or not. So in this answer also, probably we'll be, dealing all these disasters. As soon as, I'm going to discuss something new, probably this will all come. So not just because of this question has asked, but yes, this is how we'll go. If you keep watching each and every video of mine, you will be getting answers for a lot of questions. Lot of questions you will be able to solve. 2017 they asked, evaluate the role of western disturbance in the Indian climate. Now tell me, the western disturbances, didn't I tell you? Now here they are suggesting it's a Indian climate. Yes, western disturbances had many other role to play, but one of the roles, interaction of western disturbances with moist air can cause cloudburst. This is what I told you, be it your Kedarnath, be it Himachal, be it Ramban. This is what I gave you. At least one example can be that. At least one case study can be that. So all these questions, probably they have not asked directly what is cloudburst, but the cloudburst as a case study, cloudburst as an understanding, you can always put in your answer. और बहुत अच्छा आंसर हो जाएगा. ठीक है? I hope you understand this concept. So thank you very much for hearing me out. I hope this is clear. Now if you have any doubt, any question, you can always put your question in the comment box. I'll come there personally to explain that. Fine. Now thank you very much, and this is where you can connect with me. This is my Telegram channel. Probably you will get the PPT or say PDF of this discussion also. This is where you can connect with me on Twitter as well. So thank you very much. Again, have a nice day.